Hey guys, Vazzy back here, and in today's video, we are going to be finishing off the first year of simulation here in our NHL 24 Calgary Flames franchise mode, and getting everything set up for the draft and free agency episode in episode 4. With that being said, in the last episode, we simmed up the first half of the season where we went 17, 21, and 3 through the first 41 games. Overall, the team had a little bit more success than I was thinking, especially after we made those line changes. The guys started playing a little bit better, and we got on a couple of win streaks later on. Look at the lineups here after those changes were made. Zary had really been doing good after making those changes. He is probably one of the leading rookie scorers at this point, I'm not too sure. Let's switch Kuzmenko and Mangiapane there, just numbers weren't great. And Dustin Wolf is making his season debut in this episode as Markstrom has gone out with an injury. I don't think it is the longest of injuries, but he will get a couple of starts here. We'll see how he's doing and reassess things at that point. Looking at the league standings here halfway through the season, let's see where we sit here in terms of the entire NHL. So we are toward the bottom here. We are sitting 29th out of 32nd. We would have the 4th best odds at a top lottery pick here. So overall, I think at this point we probably do want to lean toward getting that top lottery pick. Unfortunately, we won't be able to make any trades as they are off for season 1 here. Let's jump into the first game here against the Arizona Coyotes. We will check out Dustin Wolf's first game of the season. First period 1-0 Clayton Keller on Dustin Wolf. Second period, that is 3-1 for us. Mangiapane, Huberdeau, and Weegar get goals. And in the third, we do hold on Sharangovich, Hanley, Schmaltz gets 1 for them. So that is a huge win right there. Dustin Wolf, 45 saves, 957 save percentage, does earn him that first start of the night. Definitely a great first showing for Wolf, but let's continue on with the simulation. We'll keep him in the net for the time being. Going up against the Vegas Golden Knights, we lose 5-4. And up again against the Coyotes here coming up, who sit 1983. Markstrom is back, so it wasn't very long-term of an injury like I thought. Let's have him currently as the backup to Wolf. We'll give him his fair shot here as the starter, that being Wolf, and Markstrom will be there just in case he is needed. So going up again against Arizona here, Kevin Rooney goes down the NHL, just a 4th line guy, nothing too crazy. We will fill him in with, I believe, Walker Dueller. I believe he's our only forward scratch at the moment, and yeah, he is. So he will take the 4th line ice time for now. That is a 3-2 win against the Coyotes. Going up against the Toronto Maple Leafs, that is a 6-3 loss. So now we're going up against the Oilers again, rivalry game. Let's get Markstrom back in for this one. We'll give Wolf a little bit of a break after starting a couple. His numbers, 914 save percentage is pretty good. Goals against isn't great, but looks like he is just absolutely getting peppered out there when it comes to shots. Guess the defense in front of him is not playing too good, which is more or less expected. But jumping into this game here against the Edmonton Oilers, I believe our only other meeting was in the first episode where we did win. First period here, 0-0 after 1. After 2, we lead 2-0. Sharangovich and Dueller for us. And in the third, it was a close one, but we do hang on. Backlund, Kuzmenko, Kane, Nurse, and Janmark for them. But we hold out to win by a score of 4-3. So let us continue on here. I think let's give Wolf a couple more starts, and then we can kind of decide if we want to keep him up at the moment or if we want to drop him down and make him the full-time starter in the AHL. Still somewhat undecided. Again, I don't really know what direction this team is going to continue on in. Kevin Rooney's back, that's all right. So going up against the pretty good St. Louis Blues, we do win 4-1. Against the 500 Blue Jackets, Sharangovich goes down, that's not ideal. Let's substitute him in for, I guess we'll get Rooney back on the 4th line, put Dueller in on the 2nd, and just kind of mess it around from there. So substituting in Walker Dueller, switch him with Peltier, and then we'll switch him with Pospisil. Again, I don't think it was a very long-term injury for Sharangovich, so not too concerned if Dueller is on some special teams lineup at the moment. But let us continue on here. So we lose against the Jackets, going up against the awful Hawks. We do win that game by a score of 9-4. Who put up the points there? Zari puts up 4. Who else am I seeing here? Coleman puts up 4. Yeah, it's overall, we have these games that we can just really come out and just absolutely destroy the other team. We've had at least 2 9-goal games. We've had an 11-goal game this season, so the team can score when they want to. It's just not as often, I think, as we probably overall want. But here we go. Sharangovich is back, so we'll just switch Dueler with Pospisil, and we'll switch him with Peltier, and then we will get Sharangovich back in. That is a very big add for the second line there. He has been playing pretty good for us so far. But going past the All-Star break, we do lose to the Bruins the first game back. Going against the Devils now, we beat them 6-2. So let's take a look at the goaltending here as we sit just over 50 games in. So Dustin Wolf, 10 games played. He is 5-3, has a .911 save percentage and a 3 goals against. Those are pretty good numbers for the team in front of him. Again, his defense is definitely not helping him out. But I think I want to send him down and just give him that starting ice time in the AHL, where he can absolutely dominate. And then we'll have Markstrom, who can get a decent amount of starts here again, so he doesn't drop off. And then also Vladar will get his playing time as well. So let us switch up the goalies here. Get Vladar in. I'm not sure what happened there. It seems to be a little bit of a glitch. And there we go. Markstrom is the starter. Give Vladar the start for right now. And then I guess I should probably go back and actually get Dustin Wolf in the AHL. That is totally my bad. See how the other AHL lines are looking here as well. Donsk, you can go back to being the backup. And Dustin Wolf will get his full-time start and increase in the AHL with the Wranglers. So continuing on with the simulation here, sitting 50 games in, going up against the New York Islanders here to start things off. Beat them 4-3 in the shootout. Going up against the Rangers now. That comes out to be a 4-1 loss. Going up against the 500 Sharks. That's another win in the shootout for us, 4-3. Against the Red Wings now. That's another shootout win. We're winning a lot of games in the shootout here recently. But we can probably switch the goaltenders here. I think that's probably alright at this point. We'll get Markstrom back into his starting net. Want to make sure he doesn't drop off too much. Probably a trade chip here in the offseason, just like in the real world. It's 3-1 loss by the Jets. A lot of trade offers coming in, going up against the Boston Bruins, who are very good. Beat them by a score of 5-2. That brings us back to 500. So let's jump into this game against the Oilers, with it being a rivalry matchup. So we sit 2-0 against them on the year. First period, 4-3. A lot of goals being scored. McDavid has 2. Looks like Kadri has 2 for us. Yeah, it's crazy. A lot of goals. After 2, 6-7. What the heck is going on in this game? It's definitely out of control. In the third, we get 1 to tie it at 7. And in overtime, the Oilers do take it. Leon Draisaitl puts it past Markstrom. So definitely a pretty interesting game there against the Oilers. It's another one of those high-scoring games that we have. Unfortunately, this time we did not come out on top. But going on things up here against the LA Kings, we do shut them out. They are not a very good team here this year. Almost at the 60-game point here, more or less 2/3 of the way done in the year. Against the Penguins, we beat them 6-3, as now we sit 29, 27, and 4. So we've actually turned this record around, and we're doing not too bad considering the start we had. Looking at the leading scores, Huberdeau was almost a point per game. Kadri's picked it up. Zari's doing incredible still. Jeremy Peltier, 25-44. He's done really good for a call-up. I don't mind that at all. Again, other than that, not too much. Markstrom still has definitely fallen off from his start anyway. Wolf still putting up great numbers in the AHL with Donsk. And looking at Coronado, he's actually done really good. Up to a 79, that's huge. So we could definitely probably call him up either this year or definitely next year for sure. And he can be a low-end top 6 player. Hopefully he can grow a little bit more, but he is putting up great numbers down there with the Wranglers. Oops, didn't mean to go into the trade screen here. These laggy menus are not very good right now. But let's get back to the simulation here as we head toward the trade deadline, which we just passed in real life. We lose to the Seattle Kraken 3-1, going up against the Tampa Bay Lightning here in Tampa Bay. we lose 4-3. And then here we are at the deadline. Of course, no trades in this episode. Just skip through all of this stuff. And before we keep going here, I should probably turn on CPU trades here again, because otherwise I'm gonna forget. We'll end up getting like 5 seasons in and no one has made any trades. So let's go and change that here real quickly. There we go. Computer trades are back on, starting at the NHL draft here in a couple of months. So getting things back to the simulation here against the Florida Panthers. We do win 2-1. Switch up the goalies here going against the Hurricanes. See if maybe we can put another 11-goal game against them on the board here coming up. I doubt it, but we did it earlier in the season. Who knows? I kind of want to switch Peltier here. No, let's do it. Let's play him with Zari, the two young guys together. Definitely going to help him grow, hopefully, so. Against the Hurricanes here, we do lose 3-2 this time. Could not put up another 11 mark on them. Going against the Avalanche, that's another overtime loss. Against the Vegas Golden Knights here, it's a 5-4 win. And then here against the Canadiens, who are doing alright this year, that is a 5-0 loss. So again, let us go and switch out the goalies. Make sure everyone's getting the right amount of starts. Get Markstrom back in the net, and then we'll switch Dons, give Wolf a little bit of a break in the AHL. So back here for more or less the final stretch of the season here, as we're almost at 70 games played. Looks like we're going up against the Vancouver Canucks here to start things off, who are having a very good season, just like in real life. Against the Vancouver Canucks, we do lose 5-1. I guess we probably could have kept Vladar back in there, but we will switch and get him back in for the Buffalo Sabres game here. As Markstrom actually dropped off to an 85 now, that's not good. We want to make sure that we're keeping his value up so we can probably trade him. Against the Buffalo Sabres, we do win 4-3. Against the horrible Blackhawks, another loss against them. They've definitely got a couple of wins against us this year, but I guess we can probably switch out the goalies here again. Vladar really wasn't supposed to be in for those games. We'll get Markstrom back in. Peltier, he is at 30 points in 55 games. Yeah, that's good enough for him to stay on the second line. Not too impressed with Mangiapane. Kuzmenko I'm even less impressed with. Sharangovich having a really good year. Let's switch those two maybe. Yeah, let's do it. Lose a little bit of chemistry, but not the end of the world. We want our best players to be playing the most amount of ice time on this team. Against the St. Louis Blues here, that is a big win over them by a score of 6-3. Going against the LA Kings, that's a 3-2 loss. Let's simulate up here against the Ducks, who are actually having a really good year, which is interesting. We do lose against the Anaheim Ducks. Up against the Winnipeg Jets, who are really struggling, which is interesting again. We lose to them as well. So let us go into this game against the Oilers like we have been of recent. I believe we're 2-0-1 against the Edmonton Oilers this season. And it's not looking good so far. That's 3-0 them. Kane, Ekholm, and Bonino. Not ideal. Well, yeah, there we go. We coming back. 4-4. Greer, Kadri gets 2. Mangiapane and Nuge for them. And 5-5 after 3. Kuzmenko and Kulak. But Hanley wins it in overtime. So I'm assuming that is the last game against the Oilers this year. That would put us at a season series of 3-0-1 against them, which is actually not bad considering they should be the much better team in this. But we lose against the San Jose Sharks, going up against the Kings next. We beat the Kings 3-2. So I think now this will be Dan Vladar's final game of the regular season, as we really only have like 4 games left, and I believe this should be our last back-to-back of the year. And we'll get Wolf in there for the remaining AHL games as well. So Vladar's last game of the year against the Anaheim Ducks, he wins 2-1, so it's a good result there to end the season for him. So the final couple games here will all go to Markstrom. So that's not bad. Yeah, he's still at his 85. Hopefully he can get back up to the 86 here. The Winnipeg Jets fired their head coach, going up against the Coyotes. That is a loss against them, 5-4. Against the Canucks, we beat them 5-2. In the last game of the year against the Sharks, may as well jump into it, why not? Final game of the regular season. It is 0-0 after 1. After 2, it is 2-1 San Jose. LeBlanc and Zetterlund for them. Mangiapane gets 1 back for us. And after 3, they do hold on for the 2-1 win. So our season is going to finish at 37, 40, and 5. Honestly, that's a lot better of a record than I thought we would get, considering all the guys that got sold off prior to starting this, like Hanifin, Tanev, and Lindholm. Let's see where that record puts us overall in the entire NHL. So sorting things overall by points-wise, I don't see us here. Obviously want to get more toward the bottom. There we are at that record. So it looks like we are 5th best odds of getting the first overall pick as we sit 28th in the NHL. So that's not bad. We definitely have something to work with. And when it comes to point scoring for this team, Huberdeau led the way with 77. Zari had very good rookie year, 63. Peltier 40 and 66. You know, overall it's not too bad. Obviously a guy like Kuzmenko I'm not thrilled with, but overall other than that it's not bad. Defensively, again, nothing too crazy, not the best defense. And goaltending was a little bit rough here this year. Again, the defense probably in front of him wasn't great, but it is what it is. Pasternak puts up 99 points, 60 goals. I am assuming that is the most amount for goals, which it is. Looking at the rookie skaters, looks like Bedard might have the Calder, but plus minus actually goes to Zari, that's huge, but even 2 points behind him, Carlson is definitely in the race. Comes to goalie wise, Skinner had the most wins, followed by Shesterkin, Gorgiev, and Husso. So that's kind of what everything is looking like here in the NHL, at least after simulating the first season. So what I am going to do now is simulate to the end of the playoffs, and then we're going to take a look at the playoff tree, the awards, and what draft pick we get. So I'll be right back. I'm going to go simulate up until that point. So after simulating the Stanley Cup playoffs, you will see that the Boston Bruins are the Stanley Cup champions in this universe, as they have defeated the Nashville Predators. On the road there, they also beat the Rangers, Red Wings, and Sabres. So that's their road to the cup. Looking at the awards here quickly, here's all the team awards, nothing too crazy. Pasternak, Art Ross, Hart goes to Draisaitl, Makar gets the Norris, Lady Byng goes to Pasternak, Calder unfortunately goes to Carlson as expected. Pasternak gets another award with the Conn Smythe, Swayman gets the Vezina. Overall, what else do we have here? Kopitar gets the Selke, Draisaitl gets the Ted Lindsay, and Pasternak gets the Maurice Rocket Richard. So Pasternak absolutely cleaned up there, getting at least, 4 or 5 different awards. Absolutely insane. So let's simulate up to the draft lottery here. Should be coming up in the next couple of days here as we head up toward the draft. It looks like we move back from pick 5 to pick 6. It's not great as Montreal goes from 9 to 2. So pick 6, you're still going to get a really good player, definitely getting an elite player. So who's that going to kind of put us on track for? Like a Cade Lindstrom, Sam Dickinson. Those are both guys could be options. Berkeley Catton. Still a lot of really good guys out here, especially like a guy like a Ginla. I really want to trade back into the draft and get him, but I don't think we're going to be drafting him with pick 6. But yeah, there's definitely some names out there for sure. The draft is going to be very interesting next episode. Looking at player retirement here quickly. Anisimov, Johnson, Ablocator, Komarov, and Talak on the Avalanche. I guess he signed there, is the only goalie of this retirement class. So let's get up to just the draft date here. And there we go. So I do think overall that is going to do it for episode 3 here of our Calgary Flames franchise mode in NHL 24. Again, in the next episode, should be very exciting as we have the NHL draft to take care of. Definitely a few names that I have my eye on here. We'll have to see what ends up happening in the draft itself. But until then, I'll see you all in the next video.